Hey, welcome. Debbie Grote here, CEO and co-founder of Forward Coaching. So let's see, happy Thursday. And hey, I can't believe it, mid-year. We're getting ready to start the half of this year. I know you all have goals to make it even better than the first. And we're always looking for special guests that might have a new strategy or topic that will help you achieve your goals faster. And I have a special guest today, so I'll introduce him, and then I'm going to let him actually do most of the talking. My guest is Nick Waldner, and Nick is a 21-year real estate veteran, and he's a leader of the Waldner Winters team. They actually are the #1 Keller Williams team in Maryland and DC for 8 consecutive years in a row. We are in a shifting industry where it is more difficult to get people to pick up the phone. We've got a lot of rules around the do not call list. And while, there's still a lot of prospecting out there going on, I know that many of you are looking for an additional way, dare I say, a bit easier way. And we've gone through, a market drop. In fact, our team at Goldman Sachs, our advisors, said to us just a couple of weeks ago, very interesting that we've had 4 years of 4 million transactions nationally when the normal is 6.2 to 6.5. So what that tells us is there is potentially 12 million transactions sitting around, floating around out there, waiting for that moment. And when that moment comes, we want them to call you. So here is what we're going to do today. We are going to talk about using YouTube as a lead gen strategy. And Nick, I wrote down some questions that I hear all the time. I don't even know where to begin. I don't have enough subscribers. How do I even get enough to make it worth it? Oh, the market's too saturated. I don't know what to say. I hate seeing myself on camera.
Or hearing your voice.
Or hearing my own voice. I tried it for a few weeks. I didn't get anything. And so, Nick, our goal today is to pack as much content into a short period of time as possible. And I'm just going to hang out, as I said, and let you do the talking. But every now and then, I may unmute myself to ask I won't call it a dumb question, a novice question. Now, I do make a lot of video, but I do it because my team forces me to, and they handle the strategy around that. I don't. So I think it's perfect that we have you here. And please, everyone, as Nick is sharing with us, go ahead and type your questions in the chat box. Nick, what we might do, though, because you may answer those questions, I think I'm going to let you just roll with it. And then we'll take a few minutes at the end to go back and see if there's anything that we missed that they had asked in that chat box.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. I think that one of the crazy things about YouTube is most of us, me included, I've been doing real estate for 21, 22 years, and it's been on my list of things to do for, I hate to say it, 10 or 12 years. And I've been putting it off and putting it off. And I got to this point where I was like, I need to do this. I need to make a decision. So as Debbie mentioned, I run the Waldner Winters team in Maryland. I'm a real estate agent. So if you're looking for the most amazing presenter today, lower your expectations. I sell real estate. So send us all your referrals. That's what we're here for. But I also want to go into kind of the story of how I got into YouTube and everything that I've learned in the last 2-year journey as I've been digging into YouTube and understanding the strategy. Now, just to make sure everybody's clear, and Debbie's going to love hearing this, this is not your #1 source of business. Your #1 source of business is always going to be referral and repeat. It's our #1 source of business. We just had a huge milestone at our team this June. So right now, We are hitting 1 million in GCI for the month, not for the year. For the month of June, we're going to hit 1 million in GCI. But what I want to make sure I share is I'm not coming to you and saying, hey, we're doing $40 million, $45 million in real estate this month, and it's all YouTube. No, the majority of our business is referral and repeat and all the things in real estate that we've been taught over the years. And if you get really good at the fundamentals, everything else follows. But today, I want to talk about what we've added to our business that's giving us another 5 or 10% of our business. So 5 or 10% of our business is around 500,000 to 1 million in GCI throughout the year, not in a month. So this is a great strategy to add to your business if you're already crushing your referral and repeat and you're just not an expired dialer, you're just not somebody who likes to door knock, just wasn't my thing. So I needed to find a different way. Debbie and I did a really good call about Google reviews. If you haven't watched that, Google her name or my name, Google reviews, and watch that. We are on pace right now to be about 700 to 750,000 in GCI this year from our Google review calls. This is the next evolution of that. So as we talk about YouTube today, this is our next position that is going to feed our team more and more business every single year. Does that make sense?
Totally. And yes, that webinar was fabulous. And I would love to encourage everyone to look at setting up your Google reviews, getting on top of that. Nick, you inspired a lot of people who have had a lot of great result from that. And to your point, it's sort of like a house, right? We have the foundation, which is our past client and sphere. I find many of you have at least one or two additional lead generation levers that are really good for you. It might be a geographic farm. It might be open house as a strategy. Maybe you're an awesome networker. And as Nick said, don't think of this as a replacement for the main pillars. I kind of think of it as like the icing on the cake, right? This is like that little extra stuff, and it's evergreen.
Yes. And that's what we're going to talk about today is we are not I am not dancing on TikTok. I'm not creating funny reels on Instagram. I'm not running on a hamster wheel that every 24 hours disappears and now I have to start all over again. What I'm going to teach you guys today is how to create content that you could make today that is usable in a week, a month, a year, or even 3 years. And when you do this properly, speak properly, when you do this properly, the bigger that asset grows, the more business you get from it. And here's where I've gotten where I kind of got started on all this. I was sitting with a very good friend of mine, Ken Posick. He is absolutely Mr. YouTube. If you've watched anything on YouTube, he's the guru. He's the guy, but he's so far ahead of the rest of us that it was almost like I don't even know where to begin.
Intimidating.
Yes, it was so absolutely phenomenally big, which is amazing for him, but not helpful when I'm like, where do I get started? How do I do this? So I was spending some time and I was deciding that this is going to be the year. This is probably about 2 years ago. This is going to be the year that I get into YouTube. And I went out and I hired the best coaches and I spent $5,000-6,000 a month with the best YouTube coaches to teach me everything. Spoiler alert, you do not need that. I'm going to show you everything that I learned over that time, but you do not need that. And I started that process of learning the system. And the number one thing that I learned with YouTube is this is not a social. So if you are doing this to build your brand, if you're doing this to stay in front of past clients or family or friends or sphere or all that, take all that off the table. YouTube is a different animal. It is not built for social. It is built to answer questions. We all know Google, the number one search engine in the world. Google, everybody could tell you that. But the number two search engine in the world is actually YouTube. And that blows our mind that all of a sudden we think of it differently when it's no longer a social and this is actually a search engine. We have to understand what people are searching for and then realize we can be the answer to those questions. And when we're the answer, we build the trust. When we build the trust, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. They know us because they watch our video. If we do it well, they start to like us. Then they start to trust us as the authority. And then they reach out and call us for help in whatever they're doing. And that's the main point that I want to make sure that we all understand. I'm not teaching you how to be a social agent because that is a totally different world. This is how do I create an evergreen lead generation machine that is going to bring me leads every year for the foreseeable future so that I can build a bigger and bigger and bigger real estate business or team or whatever it is that you have. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. And I'm glad you talked about not having to spend thousands a month to find some expert, because there's lots of people out there that would take your money for that, and big money, and then you still end up confused and lost. So how do we do this in a way that's down and dirty, uncomplicated, and they can
Yep.
leave here today and take action, Nick?
Yep. So I'm going to teach you a bunch of stuff and I'm going to go all over and you're going to learn some stuff that you can do. But let's start with some of the things that agents are doing wrong when they're doing YouTube. Okay. The number one thing that I've gotten from, and I've hired several different coaches, I've been with several different programs, I've worked with tons of different editors over my 2 year span because I really wanted to bounce around and learn what everyone was doing so that I could understand what works and what doesn't work. And every single person told me the same thing. The reason YouTube fails for agents is because they're not consistent. They're not showing up every single week with a new video, with a new topic, and being on that system. So I want you to understand this or think of it this way. YouTube is an algorithm. It is a computer that is looking for one thing. It wants eyes on its prize. It wants eyes watching YouTube for as long as possible. Just like Meta and social rewards the producer when people watch more and more of their content, YouTube is no different. The more I sit and watch the content, the more they can charge in advertising. So as a YouTuber, as a person in your situation, which is putting in videos, the more people that watch your videos, the more they are going to push your video to more people. So number one, consistency matters. If you're putting a video up 2 times in a week and then not doing it for 3 weeks, and then you get consistent again, you do 3 more videos, and then you disappear for another 6 months, the algorithm can't trust that you're going to have material. So it's not going to push you to as many people. It's not going to keep your name out there because it can't guarantee you'll have a new video soon. And if somebody likes your stuff and then they get to the end and there's nothing else to watch, they turn off YouTube. They don't want that. They want consistency. So that's number one, is we have to understand that consistency is the game. So when we do that, everything that I teach is about creating consistency in your business. So one of the hardest things is, the writer's block. Imagine if you were trying to come up with something funny on Instagram every single day. That is tough to come up with every single day. This is not the same. This is having a very good understanding of what people are searching for in your area, and then you are creating videos to answer those questions. So I'm going to jump in this. Terry, I just happened to look down and she said Claude can do it. And that's so perfect because that's the third mistake that everyone makes. And Terry, you're going to hate me for saying this, but do not think that AI is going to go and solve everything for you. Now, this is the caveat where AI can help you. If you put in the right information, you will get better output from AI. But this is not about views. It's not about entertaining. It's not about making a really good video that everybody watches. This is about lead generation. So when you know that this is built around lead generation and not views, You stop chasing going viral or getting 50,000 views or a million views or anything like that. I want to find buyers and sellers with intent to watch my video. If I can get them to watch 4 or 5 of my videos and reach out to me, and it might only be 300 or 1,000 people, but 3 of them reach out and say, we want to buy or sell a home, that's successful real estate. That's success in YouTube. When you're shooting for views and you're just going to AI or Claude or Gemini or any of those and saying, make me an entertaining video, they will do that, and you will post it and you will get views and you will get likes and you might even get some comments, and no one will reach out to you. So understanding that there's a buyer psychology to buying. So when we think about our videos have to start very broad and they slowly build down so that this consumer's only last decision is, I need to reach out and call this person, or I need to jump on their calendar or email them, or whatever CTA or call to action you're using, or they're going to watch another one of your videos. So let me give you an example. So at the end of every single video, I do what's called a hard CTA, a hard call to action, or a binge. I do both in every single video. So at the end of every video, I would say something like, if you've gotten this far and you've learned everything they're doing in Baltimore over the next 2 years, $8 billion in renovations coming right here to the Baltimore area, you're probably wondering, how does this affect my next purchase? Guys, I got to tell you, I make these videos, I release new content every single week, and the number one thing that I love is when a viewer just like you picks up the phone or just goes to youtubenick.com and reaches out and tells me a little bit about what exactly you're looking for, so I can help you strategize and make the best plan possible to help your family. If you're even remotely considering the next 12 months, jump on youtubenick.com, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. Now, if you're not ready to make that call yet, let me show you this next video. This is the top 3 school systems that you need to know about if you're thinking about blah, blah, blah. And I point to a video that's good that I then put in after editing. The reason that I'm doing that at the end of my video is because I either want them to reach out to me, because this is a lead generation pipeline, or continue watching more of my videos so they know me, like me, and trust me more until they finally feel okay reaching out to me. Now, if I don't give all that to Claude or Gemini or anything, I never see that. It never comes into my script. It doesn't help me actually lead generate. So AI is awesome, but used improperly, it's worthless. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I guess a couple questions. So I've been told things by marketing people that there's this thing in marketing called the cheese and the whiskers. The mouse wants the cheese, but the mouse wants to stay away from the cat. So I've been advised in the past that when you do a video like this, yeah, you want to say, reach out, call me, and yet they may not be ready to call you. So instead, if you have hey, go to this, www.thebestschoolsever.com and get this free report. And so if you offer them a tip sheet, a report, and you don't send them to your website because they get lost and confused, you send them directly to that landing page, or say, text this number and request. And of course, when they text or go to the landing page, they have to give you all their info, which they may or may not do, but you got to have it, right? If they're a lead. And so they can only do one of two things: leave or give you their info and get that tip sheet. So I want to hear your thoughts about that approach. And then also, I was told that, I shouldn't say, hi, I'm Deputy Grote, blah, blah, blah. Right?
Yes. Okay. There's 2 different ones. Great questions. Okay. I think it's perfect. So number one, you're 100% right. I'm not sending anybody to my website. So with my call to action, if I say go to youtubenick.com, very simple URL. Anybody can remember that. You don't have to worry about spelling. Now, in my videos, I will say, And if you're thinking about school systems, just go to my site, youtubenick.com. I've already broken down the top 5 school systems for every county. You can access that list right there. I give it to you free, no problem. And then in another video, I'll say, go to youtubenick.com. Right there on the home screen, you're going to see our relocation guide. Guys, this is the tips and tricks when you're buying in Maryland. I don't want you to make the mistakes that everyone else is making. I tell you all of it up front. I give it to all my VIP clients, and it's free for you. Go there and grab it. And then another CTA will be, hey guys, if you're just thinking, man, I would love to talk to Nick, guys, go to my calendar, youtubenick.com. You can click right there and grab 15 minutes on my calendar anytime you want, so you and I can have a conversation and discuss your exact needs. Now, those are different levels of CTAs. So those are calls to action, but they're different levels of it. And I love that you mentioned the text message. So in our videos, we do something called a soft CTA. And a soft CTA is going to be something like, and if you're moving to Maryland and you're worried about traffic, hey, that makes sense. We're the second longest commute in the entire country. In fact, if you know where you're going to be traveling or where you're going to be working when you move here to Maryland, just text me and just say the word traffic, and I'll give you the 3 areas that you absolutely want to avoid. Just shoot me a text and my number pops up across the problem, and just say traffic and I'll help you out. And then I keep right on going with what I'm doing in my conversation or in my video. So it feels very relaxed. There's not a lot of friction. When I say, oh yeah, Debbie, just send me a text, that feels like friends talking. That feels very easy. It takes away the friction. If I said, Debbie, I'd like you to call me so we can set up a consultation, you now feel like I'm the IRS or a
Right.
doctor and I'm putting on my gloves. Like, no, I don't think I want to do that. So you're going to layer your CTAs throughout the entire video. If
Because
you
you don't
don't,
know when they're going to leave, right? You don't know when
exactly,
they're going to come in
exactly.
and when they're going to leave. So you can't just save it till the end,
And
right?
that hard CTA is only at the very end.
Right.
Everything else layered through is a soft CTA, if you notice. So if I tell all of that to my AI, they can put all those in there, and now I'm getting better content from what I'm putting in.
Got it.
Now,
Okay.
the second question you asked about,
Do
I
you say
forgot
your
the
name? Do you say your
Yes,
name?
yes, 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 yes. Okay, so that's perfect. So we just talked about the ending. Now I'll tell you a little bit about the beginning of every video. This is called your hook. Your hook, you have 30 seconds to get somebody who clicked on your thumbnail, and your thumbnail is basically the image that you have on screen that has a little bit of information that they decide, yeah, this is the video I want. When they click that video, you have 30 seconds to convince them that they're at the right spot and this video is worth watching. So if I would say, hey guys, it's Nick again. Your Maryland realtor. We're the #1 team in Maryland, blah, 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 blah. I've already lost 90% of my people. They don't care about us. We are not the star of the show. The answer we're giving is the star of the show. We are just the guide. So it's almost like I'm getting out of the way and I'm giving you what you want rather than thinking I'm the celebrity or the star of this. So we got to get that out of our heads. So now my video might be something like, if somebody clicks it, it might start right off with, over the next 4 years, Baltimore has just approved $8 billion in renovation. In fact, the inner harbor that you know and love is never going to be the same after this quick 3-year transition. And here's what I'm here to tell you. Real estate values are going to skyrocket in some places and they're going to fall or stay flat in others. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything about what's coming in the development and where the smart money is running so you don't buy in the wrong place. That is your hook. That's your first 30 seconds. I give them something that they now feel like, okay, yeah, this is the video. This is what I'm wondering about. Yes. Now it's about the development, but I bring real estate into the conversation because that's what I do. After your hook, you have 15 seconds to do what's called your authority. So this is the authority statement, says who you are and why I should listen to you. But it's 15 seconds long. So it is simply, I'm Nick Waldner. I've been selling real estate here for 22 years. We've helped over 4,000 families find their perfect next home, and that's what I want to do for you. Let's get into the Baltimore market and show you exactly what's being developed. Do you see how quickly I talked about myself?
Very quick. So,
Enough that you trust me, and then we go right into the topic.
so a thought I had, tell me, because this is, that would be an incredible topic, everything you just talked about. Could we also think of all the questions that people are asking us around this market? Like, hey, have you been wishing you could move up and yet you're just terrified to be homeless? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
could you pick like all, have you ever thought I'd love to buy an investment property, but I don't even know where to begin because what if I can't find a tenant? What if I pay too much? What if like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it seems like the topics are kind of endless depending on your market, what's happening in your market, all the questions people are asking you. Like it doesn't seem like in my mind, I would think if I sat down and I wrote a menu of
You could do
awesome
you would
topics.
be, yeah, you would be Cheesecake Factory. It would be 90 pages long, a million different things. So here's what I've learned. So I spent some time with the head of YouTube from Google. I got a connection and was able to get him in a room and sat down with him and learned everything I could about what people are doing right and wrong with YouTube. And this is what he told me. You cannot be everything to everyone. So all the different topics you just talked about are all 100% valid. But if my channel covers all of them, nobody knows what I actually do, and therefore I'm not the choice for anyone. But if I decide in real estate, in YouTube, you get three avatars. And when I say three avatars, what I mean is take three types of clients. So for me, it is move up buyers, people that are moving up to that next stage in house. They typically have a family and kids. School systems are important. The commute is important. That's our number one avatar. Then our second avatar is the families in those homes already that are either looking to move somewhere that's a little less maintenance, the kids are moved on, they're already in college, or they're looking to right size or whatever that may be. That's our two main categories of clients. So when I do my videos, those are my two avatars. And I say three because you can have up to three, but every single video, you have to think in your head, one of my three avatars, will they be interested in this video? I could do one about investing. I could do one about PCSing in the military. I could do the one about relocation. I could do one about first-time home buyers. I could do one about condos. I could do one about waterfront, blah, 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 blah. But I have to think, is this what my avatar would want? Because my channel needs to speak directly to someone. And in his words, it can only be three someones. So what I tell everyone to do and what I coach agents to do is go back and look at your last year or 2 years or 3 years of production. Who are the people you serve the most? And what I found is a lot of people like, if somebody says, well, Nick, a lot of my clients are first time home buyers, but I really want to step into the luxury market. Okay, that's awesome. So one of your avatars could be first time home buyer, and you could have one that you go to the more aspirational buyer. And you could easily do something like, what does $1 million get you in Maryland? I'm going to show you three different areas, three totally different homes, all for $1 million. And I'll tell you the pluses and minuses of living in each of these communities. And then I might go into, oh, you get so much land and it's so private and you get this big house. However, the commute can be a pain, or if you have to travel to DC every day, blah, blah, blah. Well, over here, this is incredible. You're walking to everything. There's coffee and restaurants and all that. However, square footage is going to be small and you've got your neighbors really close. And I go through the pluses and minuses because I'm looking for that client. So we find three avatars And then we make all of our videos to the questions that they would ask. So if I was talking about a move up buyer, somebody whose young kids are just getting into that school age and just looking for that next place, Debbie, now you could give me a menu of topics that you know that person would be talking about. Where do I go? Where are the best school systems? What's the community like? Is there, dog parks, or what do my weekends look like? Tell me about the sports in that area. Like all these things that are important to that family. That's what all of my videos are about because I know who my avatar is.
So how long should they be?
Mm.
That's always the question, right?
Excellent question and good news here. The typical answer about a year and a half ago was anywhere from 17 to 28 minutes, which can get on the long side. Now we're seeing much more success in the 8 to 17 range. So it's actually shortened recently. But what I try to tell people is the number one rule in your video is it's only as long as it needs to be. The second you start repeating yourself, the second you start running out of things to say, that's it. The video is over. If you start that and it's only a 3-minute video, your topic needs to be broadened a bit. It's too specific. If you start doing a topic and it's 45 minutes and all of your videos are that long, you're probably too broad in your videos. And there's always caveats. So I'm not saying this is universal in every single video. We have a video for Maryland where I have a Google map of here's Baltimore City, here's the beltway around it, and here's all the counties. Let's break down exactly, where the young professionals live, where the luxury homes are, where the farm and land is, where the waterfront properties are. And I go through all of Maryland and explain kind of all the different areas and the pluses and minuses of each. That might be 45 minutes. And for someone who doesn't know Maryland and moving to Maryland, they'll watch the entire thing all the way through. But somebody who already lives here and is thinking, no, I'm just deciding between Anne Arundel County and Howard County and trying to pick which one makes sense, they want to watch a 15-minute video on just that topic. So you can have some broader topics that are longer, but on average, you should be in the 8 to 17-minute range.
Because I've heard that if it's short, like 2, 3 minutes, YouTube might think it's a commercial. Is that true?
Well, you just can't get enough. You can't build enough trust in that time.
Okay.
Here's another myth that most people have. This is what we think of when we think of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Like this is how people consume it. YouTube is actually the number one streaming service. So if you think of Netflix, you think about Paramount Plus. If you have kids, you think of Disney Plus. Those are all lower on the list than YouTube. YouTube is the highest streaming of all of them. So what I found, and this was a surprise to me, 64% of our video content is consumed on a 65-inch TV in their living room. It's not consumed on here like we think. It's on a big screen TV. And all of a sudden, when I'm watching on a big screen, I don't want to change the channel every 2.5 minutes.
That's because then that means we need to look better and it needs to be fancier if we're on the big screen. So what are the thoughts around making your videos look appropriate? And then you tell us what is appropriate.
I love it. And another good news here. In the very beginning, when videos started taking off, this was thank you, Brian. This was a very raw and real, like you just shot from your phone. It is what it is. And then over the years, production started blooming. Now all of a sudden we have lights everywhere and 2 different cameras and people following us around and a much more high quality. Now the pendulum is swinging back to the kind of raw versions. Right now, AI is trying to push everyone to make AI videos. And what happens is they become too polished and too perfect, and you don't build trust with polished and perfect. Real people make mistakes, flub up words, laugh at themselves. That's human. That's humanity. That's what connects us. So what we're finding is a couple of things that will ruin your videos. You absolutely need these is number one is sound. So when I teach and I share everybody exactly how to get set up in YouTube, I tell you that the number one thing you're going to buy is one of those lab mics. So one of those mics that clip on your shirt. You absolutely have to have good sound. I'm using a professional mic right now. If you can't hear me or you can't understand me or I'm not coming across clear, it doesn't matter my content, you're moving on. So mic is the number one thing you need. The ones today, it plugs into the bottom of your phone, then you put the mic right here and that's it. It automatically connects to the video. You have to do absolutely nothing. So in our program, reachyoutube.com, I show you exactly the ones we use, where to buy them, like all that. You can get it right on Amazon. Number two is going to be your camera. And this is other great news. You don't need a $5,000 camera anymore. All of our videos are shot with an iPhone. If you're an Android user, I apologize. I don't know what you're thinking, but they actually have good cameras too. So you can get away with that as well. But you don't need a $5,000 camera anymore. You can shoot everything from your iPhone. Now, in our program, I show you the exact settings you use in your iPhone to make sure you're getting the high quality. Third on the list is light. Now, I'm at the beach house right now, so this is a little bit blown out. I don't love it. I just set up this office here. I'm going to put a few lights in here to make this a little bit better. But the lights that we suggest are $100 for two of them. They're not super expensive. They don't need to be fancy, but they do enough to put the light on your face to make sure that you're well seen. Now, there's all kinds of other little things that I'll teach you, like you need to be 6 feet off the wall. If you're all the way against the wall, you don't stand out, you blend in with the background. So little things like that. But overall, it is literally your sound, the camera, which can be your iPhone, and then the light, which most of the time I would have a desk turned and the light coming from the window is perfectly fine. If you're in a different angle, you just bring in a couple extra lights. That's it. It's gotten so much easier to produce good quality videos without having to go to that high level.
So I saw a couple of questions. What's the program? Cynthia's asking, what is the program that you're referring to, Nick?
Yep. So it's actually reachyoutube.com. So reachyoutube.com is our way to take anyone who's never set up a channel, never even logged into YouTube. I don't know where to start, Nick. Show me exactly what you need to do. We walk you through in 5 weeks. There's a 1 hour, it's usually like an hour and a half because I talk a lot and I share as much as I possibly can. Every week for 5 straight weeks, we've got the workbooks, the slide decks, all of that, and we just walk you through everything you need to know about getting started in YouTube. What I found in my journey is the first 6 months, I was filming and trying to edit and trying to figure this out and posting content, and I was getting nowhere. And then I figured out, okay, now I got to do it this way. So then I started changing it. And then when I started posting it, I started getting a lot of views, and I was getting 50,000 views on a video and thinking, this is amazing, but nobody called me. And then I started understanding the buyer psychology in the videos and how I needed to walk them through the stages to get them to feel comfortable reaching out. Then I figured out how to create the CTAs and like the relocation plan or the school system list or whatever it may be for your area. I put all of that together in my training program so that I could share all those mistakes and help you skip all of that.
Okay. And what's the investment in the training program, Nick?
The investment is $400 one time.
Okay.
One time. This is what I learned about this. I don't think that you need to join something that you pay $200 a month every single month for 8, 10, 12 years. I don't think you need that. I think what you need is you need a basic understanding of how everything works. And that's what I wanted to produce and give you. And then once you understand the system that you're working on, once you understand the YouTube as a business, you start to look at it differently and you start to understand exactly how to succeed at it. You can go higher and higher and higher in the YouTube world. You can go to CapCut, which is our editing system. So if you're like, Nick, I want to learn everything I can, I teach you in our program all about CapCut. You don't need the pro version. You can use the basic version. You can edit everything yourself. I also show you how to hire, how to choose the right editors, how to find the right company so that you're not wasting money. Spoiler alert, Fiverr, which everyone tells you to go to, is a terrible idea because, again, just like AI, when I go to Fiverr and I find somebody who just graduated film school and I tell them I want to make real estate videos, they make the most impressive, the most beautiful, the most perfectly choreographed videos, and they get lots of views, and nobody calls.
Yeah.
Nobody. So I'm going to teach you how to avoid all of that and hire the ones that actually understand. I even give you my entire team that handles my system so that I'm like, hey, if you guys want who I use, here's them. If you want to hire your own, I'll tell you exactly how to do it and how to avoid the other ones. So we walk you through all of that stuff so you don't make the same mistakes that I did.
And Dante's saying he's pretty strong in how to use it. It's more about how to get the content. And I'm sure you're going to share ideas, right? And
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And here's what I can tell you. Everybody's market is a little bit different. So I want to make sure that we are specific to your market. So one of the things we teach you is how to go in and look at the backside of YouTube to actually see what people are searching for. So think about it this way. If you've ever gone to Google and you put in best restaurants for. And now you don't press anything else. And it says dinner, families, breakfast, romance. And it gives you 5 or 6 different options to choose from. What's happening is Google has a gazillion people searching, and they know that the majority of people are looking for one of those 5 things. You might be looking for something totally different, but the majority of people are searching for one of those 5. So it's trying to predict what you want so that you can just click it and move on. That's great for us because if I can put in, moving to Maryland for, and it starts putting out military or families or first time or whatever it is, that tells me that that's what people are searching for in my area. Now, that's Google. We teach you how to do all of that on YouTube so you can see exactly what people are searching for. And then there's actually a tool. It escapes me at the moment. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I give it to you. But you actually can go in, not only see the topic, but you can see how many other people have covered that topic and whether there's enough search volume to even make it worth your time.
interesting.
So, yeah, there's all kinds of details and numbers behind YouTube that make it such a big area where you can go in and play with things and learn, oh, this is what people are searching for. I can make a video on this. Oh, this is what people want to know. I can answer that.
So Nick, I mean, I just straight up, I'm going to say we're really today is, I think everything you've shared so far, I think they can leave and they can go find 2 or 3 things to put in action right away. The 2 or 3 things not to do wrong, like go pay 5,000 a month or, buy something expensive as a piece of equipment that they don't need. So,
Yes.
so guys, I hope you all have, whether you're interested in it or not, have taken away some value that you could go make a couple of changes. And quite frankly, at the one-time fee of 400, Nick, I know it's not really technically worth your time,
It,
but I think it does provide a group for you to work with that actually show up with more of an intention of doing something with this information, which is probably more fun. And I hope it gives referrals to your team,
yeah, I mean,
right?
it's funny because like, obviously this coaching program has nothing to do with the income that I make on a daily basis. But what I found is the more I'm teaching this, the more I'm sharing what I'm learning, the more I'm forced to continue to go deeper and understand it more and learn more. And what I see from friends and other people in the industry is like they're paying all this money and they don't understand what they're getting from their editors or from their YouTube team. They're not seeing the results and they're just wasting money. So what I found is for $400, I can teach you everything you need to know. And now you can hold whoever you hire accountable to what you know. But most of us hire a great videographer or a great editor, and we're like, yeah, the videos look great. I don't know why I'm not making money. I don't know why I'm wasting money. I want to get rid of that. I want to get people in a position where they're like, I understand this, and this is what I need in my videos so that I make money.
And so Nick, really quick, because I know we've got to let you go and get back to your real job. Someone is asking about, is your channel monetized? And then Cynthia is saying she can see why you're successful because you have a great personality. And I guess my thought on that would be their authentic self, right? If
Yes,
funny, I'm
100%.
funny, but I'm not funny. So if I tried to be funny, it would not work. So
Have you talked to my wife? She said I'm not funny.
yeah, I know. So it's owning, whatever that authentic self is, I believe. And then question, can we take the class on our own time? Like, is it on?
Yeah, I love that. So what we do, we housed everything in school, SKOOL, which is a great program. So we have live sessions every Wednesday, and all five of those sessions every single Wednesday. We have in our library every recorded session, so you could literally log in at any time, see any session, even previous sessions we've recorded. We have all the workbooks, all of the slide decks. Like when I'm saying I help you learn how to set up your channel, it is like, here's a screenshot, click here. Now your next screen will be here. Click these two. Do not click this one. Now this next screen pops up. You need to do this to verify your channel. If your channel is not verified, it cannot get the numbers that you're looking for. It will not get pushed in the algorithm. Now let's talk about SEO. Go here, put in these words. This is what you're looking for. Go here. Like, I get really, really anal and detailed because once you set it up, you never have to think about it again. But if you set it up incorrectly, you miss so much opportunity to be organically shared. This is not about paid ads. This is about making sure that you're found organically by people who you don't know that find your information, want to know that stuff, and then they reach out to you. In fact, I'll tell you one of those things that I always joke about, and I make sure people know: do not send this video that you made about, oh, you're so proud of the video you just sent. You cannot send it to people. And here's why. Like, my mom thinks I'm the greatest human in the world. If you ask her, I can do no wrong. I'm the perfect human. I will make an incredible video. I will send it to my mom and I'll say, Mom, I just did this awesome video about Severna Park and the water and the schools and blah, blah, blah. I think it's fantastic. What do you think? My mom will click on it. She'll watch 28 seconds. She'll turn it off and she'll call me and say, Oh my God, Nick, you were so great. I loved every second of it. You were just so blah, blah, blah. And she would give me a million compliments. And then she'd hang up the phone. But what did the YouTube algorithm see? They saw a woman was on for 28 seconds, was not impressed, and clicked off. So this is not, we're sending this to everybody we know and trying to get them to watch it, because you'll actually kill the algorithm, because nobody will watch it all the way to the end if they truly don't care about the topic. However, in our system, I've got 33,000 people in Brivity. And I know that at any given time, I could put in a city and say, there are 487 people searching in Severna Park. I can send this video in Severna Park to those 487 people, and they may click on it and they will watch it to the end because they're searching in Severna Park. This is important for them. So all of a sudden, this is how we're connecting with people that might have been in my system in Brivity for months or years and never reached out to me. But all of a sudden, I send them a video, they watch it, they start to get to know me. I couldn't get access to them any other way. And now I'm starting to close deals from that.
So Nick, Renee said, sign me up. Renee, you would need to sign yourself up, right? She would go to that.
Yeah, if you just go to reachyoutube.com, you can sign up right at reachyoutube.com. It's really easy. you'll immediately get access to everything. Now, one of the things that we did, and Jay and I had this discussion, once you're a member, so it's a one-time fee, once you're a member forever. So anytime we update something, anytime we add something, anytime something changes, like we actually just tested if we did 2 videos a week versus one, which one performs better. Great news. 1 and 2 are exactly the same. So we don't need to kill ourselves making 2 videos every week. It doesn't make a difference.
Oh,
So you only have to do one.
great. Well, awesome. Well, Nick, thank you for spending your time with us. Since you're at the beach, I hope you're going to get an afternoon off after.
Well, today is my birthday. Don't tell
Oh, that's
anybody.
right. So happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday. Thanks for coming on your birthday. I hope you all enjoyed. And Nick, I'm going to share this with a lot of people in our world because I think your tips were priceless. And I believe my staff is already signed up. So,
Yes,
hey,
yes.
thank you. And thank you all for being here today. And I hope this gives you something exciting and, fun and inspirational to work on for your second half. All right.
Love it. All
Thank
right,
you
guys, have
so
a great
much.
day.
Bye-bye.